You're watching Access LaPorte County Channel 97. Coming up next is the August 15th meeting of the Michigan City Finance Committee. You can find more information for this meeting at www.accesslaportecounty.org.
Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Michigan City Finance Committee meeting. Today is August 15, 2023. The time now is 5:38 p.m. I'll start off with roll call. Councilman, Mr. Sean Fitzpatrick, Mr. Paul Przybylski, Ms. Tracy Tillman, present. I do not have a quorum. This will be an informal meeting. Today we have in attendance, we have Councilman Bryant Dabney, Councilwoman Delia Ziggis, and we have the Controller's Office, Controller Hoffmaster, Mary Lynn, and Tamiko. And we also have Councilman Don Przybylski. And so, just so that everyone knows, we're going to go over the Michigan City Riverboat and Boyd claims docket for August 15, 2023. Riverboat number 2235, funds number 2235 for the amount of $44,389.20. Those funds was for Northern Indiana Mechanical Inc. in the amount of $30,549.20. J&B West Roofing and Construction, $13,840, totaling $44,389.20. The Riverboat Statement of Cash Position fiscal year to date, August 15, 2023, ending balance is $6,215,295.84. I have provided to the council members that is currently present. As you all know, that beginning August 21st through the 25th, the city finance budget hearings will begin at 5 p.m., which will be held here in the EOC room. Also, I have shared with council that is currently in attendance the department head Q&As and their responses of their needs for the upcoming budget for 2024. Moving on to the budget and with the city controllers, they will do a presentation, so to speak, in regards to the 2024 city budget. Those that have been in attendance, there was a notice to all council members requesting that they attend today's meeting so that they can receive their budget books for 2024. I would like to turn this over to Controller Hoffmaster and her staff.
Yep. Good evening, everyone, and thank you for coming. We just want to go over the setup of the book and just the layout of the report, and then answer any general questions that you may have. So the way we set the books up, we have like a table of contents, I guess, if that's what you want to call this, where there's 5 different tabs. The first tab is the letter from the mayor, and it's just a summary of some highlights of the budget, and then we outlined all of the proposed capital expenditures in the letter. Under tab 2 is the notice that will be advertised online through Gateway, the notice to taxpayers about when the public hearing is, which is scheduled for Tuesday, September 19th at 6:30 p.m. And then the adoption date, which is scheduled for October 3rd at 6:30. And then it just lists the budget balances and the maximum levies that are going to be advertised for the 2024 budget. Tab number 3 are all of the proposed salary ordinances. There are 5 salary ordinances. No, 6. I'm sorry, there are 6. There's the mayor's salary ordinance, the council salary ordinance, and the clerk. Then there's the police salary ordinance, the fire salary ordinance, and then the ordinance for the appointed officials and city employees. So all of those are under tab 3. Under tab 4 the first page under there is an index of what page each of the department budgets are on. So you can see the controller's office is page 5 to 7. I think that's what that says. 6 and 7. Sorry, I don't have my glasses on. So then all of the budgets, they're just listed in fund number order. So, and that's why we did the index, so that would assist everybody in finding the departments that they would be looking at. And then under tab 5 is the sanitary district refuse and the sanitary district stormwater fund budgets that I believe it was 2016 or 2017. They changed the legislation that an elected body, so the common council must approve any budget that is funded with tax dollars. So that's why those,
Tab 4, where you see the page numbers, I don't see that.
It's not here.
This one, is that?
Yeah, see, I don't have it. Oh, it's missing.
is it missing?
Yeah, she was-
I'm sorry.
I thought like, you know,
Here, Mayor.
I'm looking in the wrong place.
Give me that book back and we will
if you
fix
see that, it's
that.
like not there, it's like,
that might have
okay,
been one of
and this is very familiar, but,
Okay,
here.
Here's this one, that one has it, and we will fix this one, sorry.
No, it's okay, it's like the first thing I looked at, like, what other page numbers, oh, here we go, see? This is good. All right, thank you.
Okay, so,
You was explaining about the sanitation.
about the sanitary district.
budget.
So, yeah, so the council, as the elected body for Michigan City, now has to, since, like I said, 2017, I believe, has to approve the refuse and the stormwater budget because they do receive tax dollars to help fund those budgets.
And I actually added them to the budget hearings for their department head to be in attendance for that reason. If the council had to sign off, even though they have their own board, but if there's any questions, that they'll be present to answer those before we have to execute their budget.
Okay, and I know in the past, they've just been in with the budget and I think they got overlooked. So I just wanted to make sure that I pointed that out, that those budgets are in here. Because you do have to sign a separate ordinance because that is under a separate federal ID number also. So any questions so far on,
I do have one, not over the materials that you currently presented to us, but I would like to request that a presentation that was presented for the 2023 budget that was given to the council or to the finance committee and for the council to review in regards to the differences and with the salaries, how all the line items are broke down, even regarding what our reserves are, what do we currently have, what's been paid out of the reserves, our remaining balance of the reserves. Am I explaining this correctly so you understand what I'm requesting? The presentation, what you did,
What y'all did that last work.
This is something.
Yeah.
oh, I did?
yes,
Okay, so I was gone, but
yes. You did a presentation
Okay.
and you provided a breakdown of the budget in regards to salaries, pretty much all the line items, the capital outlays of everything, the reserves, what's been spent out of the reserves, what the balance is those funds gonna be, with the budget, is the budget balanced with and without the reserves, and if not, what amount of the reserves is going to be used for the year of remaining of 2023 and any of the reserves for the 2024 budget.
All right, let me look up, I don't recall doing this last year, but I'll look up and see what I did, because I'll have the PowerPoint would still be on my computer, so I'll look up and see what I did. Yeah, because I didn't do anything like that with this budget. Okay, so I guess I'll be working this weekend too.
Okay.
So did you want me to go over how to read the report or no?
I'm
Just explain the columns,
Yeah, I can just,
starting on page 1 of the budget.
and
General fund.
And as you're doing that, and for the general fund, just FYI, so I provided to the finance committee and to the council members, so this is the chart that we'll be using, so, which is comparable to what you have, which is gonna show an example of what the department is, the categories, the account number, the original budget request. It also has the recommended cuts and then the amended balance. And we can do a tally of that. So everyone will have access and they can keep a copy of their own as we go through this so that they can keep up with how that is. And so this somewhat correlates to how you have the budget worked out as well.
okay.
But you go.
So if you look at page 1, I'll just go over the columns that we have here. So near the top of the page, it tells you what the fund is. And then underneath that, it'll tell you the department. Well, page 1 is revenues. So there's no individual department for the revenues, that's why it's called non-departmental. But then the first column would list the account number. The second column is the description of the account number. Then starting with the numbers going from left to right, the 2024 controller mayor numbers are in the first column of numbers. The second column of numbers would be what the department head had submitted. The third column is the 2023 amended budget. So when I say amended budget, that would show any transfers of funds that have been made between the account numbers and any additional appropriations that the council has approved.
Up to a certain date.
Up through, what date did I print this?
August 9th.
Up through August
I'm
9th.
just saying, it can't predict
Right.
the future.
Right.
Well, right, no, this is what the council has already approved.
Up to that.
Up through August 9th was the day I printed these reports out. And then we have the 2023 actual, so this is what's been spent from January 1 through August 9th. Then we have the 2022 actual, so that's what was spent year-to-date in '22, and then a 2021 actual year-to-date. So it gives you a little bit of history of what they've spent, and then where they are through August 9th of this year on what they've spent on their current budget.
Okay.
If you look down near the bottom of page 1, under licenses and permits, there's a gray shaded box. So on some of these, we've itemized what made up that dollar amount.
But the dollar amount quarters.
But the dollar amount of that correlates with the first column.
And this is true in any of the, whenever you see these gray, it's always more detail for the first column, whether it's in revenues or expenses. It's always some accounts we have more detail for the first column, but it's just the detail in the first column, which is the budget, which is our this year's budget.
So I wanted to point out another field that you probably haven't seen before, but I included that. And I'm trying to find a page where there's a comment.
Comment. English Fire or Central Services? Yes, or MDA.
Okay, yeah, so if you look at page 26. Excuse me. Oh, you can have that one. Oh, you're sitting there.
Infant transits.
Yes, so if you look at that first grade box near the top of the page, if you look real close, it says comments. So that is a department head comment that they put in when they entered their budget. So the ones that have the individual transactions, it'll say budget transaction. So if you look down about 2/3 of the way across the page, that gray shaded area says budget transactions.
Okay.
So they're not, I can't make them color coded on the report. So I just wanted to point out that if you look at one of these and says, well, that doesn't say transactions. So one is for budget comments that the department heads put in, and the other are transactions that itemize, or give a more detail to what made up that line item.
That's good.
So that's my 5 minutes or less going over this report.
Hey, Yvonne, a question.
Yes.
Yeah, the city council, they fall under city employees?
No, council is elected,
Okay.
so they're under the one of the elected official salary ordinances?
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about? The salary ordinance? Yeah, there's one specifically for the council.
Under that too. Oh, yeah.
Can I look?
Yeah, it's in here. The first one is all the city.
Yeah, so the first one's like 6 pages long. So if you get through that one, then the council salary order is in there.
Is there an increase in that or no?
Yeah.
Is
Yes,
there? How much?
6%.
Okay.
Which is consistent.
Yeah, it's 6% off of this year's actual.
Okay.
So you maybe 5.
Okay.
So, moving on, so are there any other comments or questions from any of the council members that's currently present in regards to the budget workbooks or any of the Q&A department head requests?
Can we get what we got last year? Are we gonna get like all the balances?
She did not recall what that was. So
Oh, I'll send it, I have one.
she said yes, she'll provide those with cash balances.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I did, okay. I mean,
So if there's no further questions,
One more.
Yes.
okay.
Can we also get, I know you have the salary ordinance in here, but can you show what, last year, is that last year versus this year, or is that in each of the
Yes.
tabs? It was nice on one sheet versus looking at each one separately.
Okay,
We had categories like personal services, supplies, blah, 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 and they broke it down like that.
mhm,
And then they had that one meeting, I gave it to them. And then I think you went back, because they had questions.
okay.
That last meeting, and I think you and Andrew,
It's slowly coming
Yeah.
back. You know,
cash
it's,
balances or something on there to show them
right, to
how-
show, okay.
Yeah.
And that was helpful because I didn't realize until that aha moment last year that our cash reserves, when you make the budget, you basically were using the cash reserves that we were having left. And then after we passed the budget, we were doing additional appropriations out of that cash money. And I was like, okay, so this is what we have and we're using it for next year's budget, but now we're eating it up after the fact is what was happening. And so that is why I was like, okay, now I understand. So that's what I would want to see is what are we using from that, from our cash that was on that sheet for this budget. I don't know how else to say it.
Yep, nope, I know what you're saying. So, and, you know, I did have to go into the cash reserve for some of these funds for the '24 budget, but I will let you know that the general fund, we anticipate more revenues next year than we have expenses for the general fund.
Excellent.
Now, how much of
So-
it is this is Riverboat?
How much of what is Riverboat?
The
Percentage.
percent,
It's the same number that it was this year, so I think that's right around, it's between 18 and 20%.
okay.
It's like the Page 4 or 5.
Yeah. The transfers from Riverboat, it's detailed on page 4
That's for the general
for
fund.
the general fund, each,
Page 4 of.
Page 4 of the general fund, yeah.
page 4, the whole thing.
On tab 4.
Okay.
We kept it all in just numerical order this time. We didn't like put the funds up.
Okay, we'll look at
That's
it.
why I got the index with the numbers, so
Yeah.
thought that would be easier.
If you
Yeah,
look,
if we can get that percentage, that would be great. Does it break, it doesn't break the percentage down on there, does it?
No.
The percentage. No, I'm okay with keeping it, I mean, we kept it the same the last time, but I just, things are going up, but as well, but I wanna make sure I understand what the reserves are and how much of it we're using. I think that's what
Oh,
I
there's that one.
Okay. If no one else have any more questions or comments at this time? None from the public?
So that's 2 requests, right?
so, yeah, we'll get,
Then I'd like
I'll get all that,
for the meeting to adjourn.
together.
Meeting is adjourned. Time now is 5:59 PM. Thank you. Have a good evening.